Do you dream of a future where androids walk among us and they have to do everything you tell them to? If so, then Detroit Become Human might be a game for you. And I want to talk about everything I liked about the title and some of the things I didn't right now in this review. What's going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And really quickly, there'll be no spoilers in this video. I'll keep everything as vague as possible. And the clips I'm showing are from very early on in the title, as I would not want to spoil anybody's experience. Now, Detroit Become Human is the latest game from developer Quantic Dream, whose previous work included Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. I recently have played Heavy Rain and didn't like it that much, was a little bit disappointed in it, but I am grateful I played it before Detroit because I got to see how a developer can improve over the course of time, as Detroit is a much better game in every way, in every category, than its predecessors. Now, Detroit is one of those interactive cinematic movie-like experiences, very similar to the Telltale games or Life is Strange. So if you played one of those, you know what to expect here. Lots of quick time events, dialogue choices on timers, and things like that. Now, the setup to the story is pretty cool. It's the future, like 2038, and androids are a central part to society. They're integrated everywhere. They do the jobs that humans don't want to do anymore. They take care of your kids, they cut the lawn, they take out the garbage, they do the construction work, they're in the military, which has kind of led to a lot of humans not really liking androids, as they feel they have taken their jobs away. But something is kind of wrong with the androids, as deviants have started to show up, and these are androids that have gone against their programming. Now, you play as 3 characters in the game: Kara, Connor, and Marcus. Kara is a housekeeping android. She cleans the house, cooks dinner, takes care of the kids, and her story really starts when Todd, the man who bought her, starts abusing the little girl she's supposed to look after, and you have to make a choice and try to protect Alice from her abusive father and get her as far away as possible from him. Connor, on the other hand, is a detective android sent from CyberLife, the company that has made all the androids, to investigate the deviant problem. They integrate him with the Detroit Police Department, give him a partner, Hank, and they can go investigate crimes that deviants have done against their human victims. Marcus, on the other hand, is a special android given specifically to Carl, who is a world-renowned artist, and his story mainly focuses on the android revolution. Each of those storylines on their own are pretty fantastic, but it goes up to the next level when they start to crisscross and intersect, and some of the moral choices you have to make during the course of this game made me sit there and just look at the screen and made me think about what I wanted to choose. How much are you willing to sacrifice for the one you love? What lengths are you willing to go to? Are you willing to steal to protect the person you care about the most? Will you remain true to your android programming, or will you side with your people? Do you develop a relationship with your human counterpart? What type of leader will you want to be? All these type of choices, they're not easily made. You have to sit there and think about it, and I really appreciated that aspect of it. And I think my favorite storyline out of the 3, while I greatly enjoyed Kara and Alice's flee from the city, I really enjoyed Connor's aspect, the detective mode that you go into. When you investigate the crimes, you come into a crime scene, very similar to like Batman Arkham Asylum. You have a scan. You can scan your surroundings and look for clues. It was always interesting piecing together the crime scene by looking at the clues scattered around or reconstructing something that happened. I greatly enjoyed Connor's, but I do think all 3 of them are fantastic. What else is amazing about the title? Well, the graphics, for one, you can see in this video if you've played it yourself. This is one of the better looking games on the PS4. Some of the scenes are just amazing with how the colors are different used. Fantastic looking title. The music is top notch, really adds something special to the game. And the voice acting, man, I can't say enough about the voice acting. It is truly superb, and you need that in a title like this. A game where there's not much gameplay variation, you need a strong story with great characters that have great voice acting to draw you into the title, and that's exactly what they did here. All three main characters are excellent, and they kind of teamed them up with veteran voice actors. For instance, Connor's partnered up with Hank, who has done incredible voice work by Clancy Brown, and Marcus takes care of Carl, done by legendary film actor Lance Henriksen. Everybody in the title, from the smallest role to the highest role, brought their A game, and it made the game so much more enjoyable to actually hear, actors acting. And even though some of the lines can be a bit hokey and some of the themes are a little bit questionable, I always kind of felt invested into the characters' stories because of everything that was going on, including the great voice acting. Now, one of the things you'll notice right away after you complete a chapter is the flowchart that is presented to you. And this is one of the big things about Detroit, is the branching storyline paths that can occur. And it's presented through this flowchart, which I will show on screen. Now, this is a flowchart from very early on in the title, but once you complete a level, it will show you this, and it will show you everything that you did, and then everything that you didn't do. So it's easy to kind of go back and replay and do something different. All the different things you can discover while scanning the environment, all the different kind of conversations you can have with people, the different moral choices you can make, all end up changing the game, where my playthrough will be completely different than your playthrough. And another thing you have to keep in mind is anybody can die. If you fail quick time events, if you say the wrong thing, you could lose one of the main characters, and that's no joke. Kara, if you do the wrong thing in the beginning of the game, she could die right in the beginning, and you'll miss out on her story. Same thing with Marcus. And I highly recommend you do your best to keep all three characters alive so you can experience the full, true story that Detroit is trying to tell. Because if you lose out on Kara in the beginning, you're missing out on some great sections. There is a really spooky house that you go into at some point, and I don't want to spoil anything, but each one of those three storylines features some fantastic moments, and it would be a shame if on your first playthrough you didn't get to experience it because you did something wrong. But that kind of lends to this whole, your playthrough is going to be different than mine, and that's one of the reasons, maybe the main reason why I'm going to give it the score I am. After I finished the game, I was blown away. This is clearly the best of its type, the cinematic interactive movie-like game. And I enjoy the Telltale games in Life is Strange, which is why I was going to give this game an 8.5. It does everything well. There are some moments that just didn't resonate well with me, and the controls still aren't great. You make gestures with the right stick to do a lot of stuff, but they still throw in motion controls with the controller and touchpad controls. I'm not a fan of that. I wish they just stuck with the basic right stick stuff. So not a fan of the controls, although it is much better than Heavy Rain. However, when discussing this title with a friend who had played the game at the same time, and hearing how his playthrough went and my playthrough went, and how he didn't experience certain sections and I didn't experience sections that he experienced, made me appreciate the game even more. Then I delved back in for kind of a second look and started choosing different things and seeing how the possibilities are almost not endless, but are really varied in how the game ends up. Now, I'm not going to say that because that would be a spoiler, but it truly made me appreciate this title more than it did. So I'm going to bump it up to a 9 based on just that fact of the differing outcomes that can happen when you choose one thing over another. It truly is different. And with that said, I love this game. I adored it. It was such a step up from Heavy Rain. It was like seeing a freshman come in and write a terrible paper in Heavy Rain and then seeing the master's thesis in Detroit Become Human. So that's why I'm going to give it a 9. And if you're a fan of this type of game, make sure you play it. And if not, wait for a sale, because it is worth playing through to see the story and all the moral choices. And with that, guys, that's the review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. Share this out with a friend. Leave a comment below about what you thought about Detroit. Hit the sub button if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. All that good stuff. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Later.